So I have been with Republica for the last 4 years. So I was, when I first came in, I actually had no experience in journalism. So I went to study economics. So I am basically an economist by studies. But then I decided to take up this opportunity because I thought this would challenge me. Because I had never been in like a mainstream journalism. So I thought, if you can be an editor at a very young age, then why not? That would be a huge challenge on my part to prove that, young people can do things that, a lot of people say you can't. So when I first came in, I was 27. So a lot of people said, a 27-year-old kid cannot take off this big job. There was a lot of criticism. But then I think I've survived all that, and it's been 4 years, and I'm really loving the job. The reason why I took up this job was because this is something that I had never done in my life. And I wanted to challenge myself because as an editor, you don't necessarily have to go out and do the reporting, So you have to better understand the issues at the highest levels. So what's happening in the country? Why is this happening? What led this to happen? And things like that. So if you have a bigger picture, then I think you can give a big boost to the team, and you can actually get insight into stories. So one of the things that I first came in that we decided to focus on was on investigative stories. So I don't know if you've heard of it. There was a big scandal last year on the Nepal Oil Corporation. This guy who was leading the corporation turns out was, involved in this big scam. So we are the ones who exposed that spam, and then he was kicked out recently. So there are a lot of stories that we did. You've heard of all these president's office and high offices trying to buy expensive cars last year. So we exposed that also, and that led to, so they did not actually end up buying. Some of these offices did end up buying, but some of them didn't buy these vehicles. So our effort has been trying to really go deeper into the issues and expose some of these wrongdoings within the government system and also in private sector. So I have had few college students that came and worked with us. So I have had very good experience. I think it's really important for you to get different kind of experiences, because if you are just confined to whatever you are doing, then it will just limit your imagination. So I want you guys to really expand your horizon and do something that challenges you. Right after I graduated from college, undergraduate, I was in Europe. I was working in Brussels at the European Parliament, and a lot of people were surprised, like how come a Nepali kid who has no direct relation to the European Parliament was working in the European Parliament? Because I got an opportunity and I really wanted to explore, because that would obviously open my thinking process, and that would also open new opportunities for a young college kid. So that really helped me, because I got to understand how the system works in Europe, how the parliament functions in Europe, and how young people are involved in the process. So it's always good to have that experience. So you are in high school, right? You just graduated from 12, yeah. So now you're thinking of going to college and trying to decide where to go, what to study, a lot of things in your mind. So how many of you are applying to US and other places? Cool, more than half. How many of you are thinking of studying here? Good, it's almost half. Okay, good. I have no particular formula. If you want to apply to Harvard, go for it, just apply. There is no particular formula to go to a good school. But the important part is, you don't have to really worry about what you want to do today, okay? Like, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. And I studied science in 10 plus 2. I was not bad at studies. But then somehow along the way, I just lost interest in science. I thought this is not for me. So I ended up going to political science. So you don't have to really worry about, okay, I want to be a doctor, I need to be a doctor, I need to be in CA, whatever you have to keep your options open. Otherwise, it will really frustrate you, and you'll end up being nowhere. So it's really important to keep that option open. Okay, if this doesn't work out, I'll do this, I'll experience this thing. So don't be too hard on yourself. So give some time, think about it. You are just very young, like you have a lot of time. So say you'll survive for 75 years, right? You're just like what, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18. So it doesn't really matter if you lose 1 year. Imagine you're living 75 years and today you lost 1 year. I mean, if you look at the long scheme of things in life, that's nothing, okay? So relax a little bit and explore more. I think you have to be a little bit more brave. That's what I see a lot of young people really worrying, like, what do I do? Like, what if I don't get through MBBS entrance or this and that, college and school? There's a lot of other options. You'll be okay. This is not the end of your life. So keep that in mind when you're applying to schools and applying to colleges. You don't have to go to Harvard. You don't have to go to the best place, Be realistic about where you can go. So I get a lot of these messages in Facebook, oh, I need to go to Harvard, what do? I say just go and apply. I mean, what can I say? So you have to be realistic on what you can do and what is your interest right now. If you really suck at math and you want to be a physicist and your parents are really pushing for you to be a physicist, I'm sorry that it's not going to happen. You'll drop out, waste of time, money, resource, constraint in your family relationship and all that. So don't go for it. You have to. I think the parents they will understand. They'll probably be mad for you for a month to the max, but at the end of the day, I think they'll come to realize. So you have to make sure that you also convince your parents. That's one part of the story, but the larger part is like what you want to do and why you want to do. So you have to find that purpose. You have to begin to find that purpose. You don't have to figure out right now, I'm going to be this and that, but maybe I'll go into this area. I'll do this. So that really helps. So some of these kids, they come to work with us. They do this 3 months, 4 months internship, and I look at their resume and it's quite impressive. I'm like, wow, this kid has done something. But then I ask the kid to go out and talk to a few people and write a story. That person can't do it. And that's a big problem. No matter what you do, you should be able to go out and talk to a person or talk to a group of people, talk to someone, and do a decent write-up. So for that, you need to read a lot, you need to interact a lot. So I think that's something missing in our school system right now. That people are just shy. They don't want to come and talk to you. They don't go out and talk to strangers. So it's a good skill to have. I think that communication skill will take you a long way in life, no matter what you study and where you go. So do that. If you are a little bit shy and if you can't talk to people and can't write, I think that's a big problem. So you should really work on that front, especially when you are at this stage of your life. So I encourage you from today to do that. That's why I said, challenge yourself. That's how challenging yourself begins. And also, I also want you to be realistic of where you come from. You should never forget that. No matter where you go, what you want to do, what you achieve in life, you should really be minded of your own background. I am always proud that I come from a family in Gorkha. My parents are still farmers there, and that's my roots. And I'm very proud of that root, So you should be proud of your root, because I have sensed that in a lot of colleges and in schools, there is obviously a gap. Kids coming from a very good family, very rich family, and kids coming from not so rich family. And so you have that mindset. I can understand that. Maybe I also went through the same phase at some point in school also. But then that should not let you down. That's part of you. That's who you are. You can't change that. You should be proud of that. The important part is what you do next. That's the most important part. So focus on that, on that front, okay? So don't be discouraged by, you don't have money or you don't have resources. It'll happen. If you're good, if you're passionate about some of these things, it'll happen. So there's one kid who's interning with us. He did excellent in his A-levels, and he was applying to studies in the US. And he got rejected in all of the colleges that he wanted to. So he was really disappointed. And I told him, listen, you are just 17, okay? work for 1 more year, do some decent work, explore some of the things that you have not done, and then apply. So it doesn't really make a difference in your life by just being rejected once. So you should really think about that. And I don't want to talk. I don't want this to be one-way conversation. So I really want you to ask me questions. You can ask anything. Don't ask me how to go to Harvard. I said just apply. But then I want this to be a very interactive session. I love to talk whatever you guys want me to talk about.
अनि हजुरले चाहिँ हार्वर्डमा जाँदाखेरि इक्वेडरको पूर्व राष्ट्रपतिसँग भेट भयो भन्नुभएको थियो त्यसको मेमोरी सुनाइदिनु न हल्का मलाई कस्तो रमाइलो लागेको थियो कि
हजुरको यस्तो जर्नलिजम सेक्टरहरुमा जस्तो ब्राइबिङ गर्ने चलनहरु छ हैन त्यस्तो हजुरले पनि फेस गर्नु भएको छ होला त्यस्तो सिचुएसनमा तपाईले कसरी कोप गर्नुहुन्छ
म भाइको क्वेसनबाट सुरु गर्छु मैले अस्ति भर्खर एउटा नागरिकबाट आर्टिकल लेखेँ तपाईले कतिले पढ्नु भयो कि भएन एउटा एसियाकै दोस्रो भनेर मैले अलि एउटा सटारिकल एउटा स्टोरी लेखेको थिएँ के हजुर सो त्यो चाहिँ एउटा के भने यो मैले नेपाली माइन्डसेटको बारेमा कुरा गरेको थिएँ कि हाम्रोमा जे पनि गफ लाउने चलन छ के हैन लाइक यो टिचिङ हस्पिटल त एसियाकै दोस्रो मेडिकल स्कुल रे हैन इन्जिनियरिङ क्याम्पस त पुल्चोकको एसियाकै दोस्रो रे यस्तै यस्तै भन्ने एउटा त्यो चलन छ नि त हैन एउटा गफ दिने चलन छ नि त अनि यो हाम्रो चाहिँ हाइड्रो पोटेन्सियल चाहिँ 83,000 मेगावाट र यो विश्वकै ब्राजिल पछि दोस्रो रे यस्तै यस्तै भन्ने चलनहरू छ हाम्रोमा हैन मैले त्यो चाहिँ किन भइरहेछ हाम्रो सोसाइटीमा किन त्यस्तो कुरा हुन्छ अनि जस्तै हरेक गाउँमा हुन्छ नि यो पहाड त अमेरिकाले कति अरब डलरमा दिँदा पनि नदिए अरे भन्ने एउटा चाहिँ त्यस्तोहरू पनि त त्यो एकदम धेरै छ नि त हाम्रो उसमा हैन मैले त्यसको बारेमा लेखेको थिएँ कि किन यस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि नि यो किनभने यो हाम्रो जुन रुलिङ क्लास हुन्छ नि रुलिङ क्लासले चाहिँ यो जनतालाई चाहिँ एउटा उल्लु बनाउने एउटा माध्यम डिस्ट्र्याक्सन हो क्या मतलब रियल कामबाट गर्न छोडेर अब चाहिँ विश्वकै दोस्रो चाहिँ राम्रो एसियाकै दोस्रो राम्रो कलेज भएपछि किन त्योभन्दा राम्रो कलेज बनाउनु पर्यो हैन छँदैछ त त्यस्तो राम्रो कलेज भन्ने खालको माइन्डसेटबाट ड्रिभन भएको कुरा हो क्या यो चाहिँ सो यो चाहिँ अलिकति जनतालाई कसरी भ्रम छर्छन् भन्ने उ थियो तर यो चाहिँ भ्रम होइन है भाइ मैले तिमीलाई त्यो अहिले भाइले सोधेको चाहिँ सो मैले एउटा अलि अगाडि नागरिकमा लेखेको पनि थिएँ कि यो मान्छेले एकदम मलाई सोधिरहेको थियो कि हार्वर्डमा अप्लाई गर्नु पऱ्यो यताउता भनेर अनि मैले त्यसको एक्सपिरियन्सको बारेमा मात्रै सेयर गरेको थिएँ कि मैले मेरो क्लासमा चाहिँ म एउटा क्लासको बाहिर हामी क्लासमा जाँदाखेरि कुरिरहँदाखेरि चाहिँ एकजना बुढा मान्छे हुनुहुन्थ्यो उहाँ 60-65 वर्षको अनि यतिको कुरा गर्दै थियौँ हामी बाहिर अनि हामी परिचय भयो सुरुकै बेलामा सेमेस्टरको सुरुमा अनि त्यसपछि उहाँले सोध्नुभयो कि कहाँबाट भने मैले नेपालबाट उहाँ एक्वेडरबाट भन्नुभयो अनि उहाँले के गर्नुहुन्छ भन्नुभयो अझै पूर्व राष्ट्रपति भने मैले यो बुढाले जोकै हानेछन् जस्तो लागिरहेको थियो कि मलाई चाहिँ अनि मलाई चाहिँ म नि पूर्व राष्ट्रपति भने यतिकै मैले गफ दिँदै मलाई मतलब जोकको हिसाबमा हाँस्नुभयो तर पछि क्लासमा इन्ट्रोडक्सन हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ साँच्चैकै पूर्व राष्ट्रपति नै हुनुहुन्छ क्या उहाँ चाहिँ पछि मलाई लाज पनि लाग्यो सो त्यो मैले भन्न खोजेको चाहिँ मतलब लर्निङ प्रोसेस चाहिँ कहिले पनि एन्ड हुँदैन क्या राष्ट्रपतिबाट सकिसकेपछि पनि फेरि स्कुल आएर फेरि पढ्ने जुन जोस जाँगर त्यो चाहिँ एउटा गजबकै त्यो इन्टरेक्सन हुन्छ त्यहाँ चाहिँ सो एउटा कुरा चाहिँ त्यस्तो ठाउँमा जाँदाखेरिको एउटा फाइदा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने पूर्व राष्ट्रपति पूर्व प्रधानमन्त्री यस्तो उस्तो मान्छेहरू चाहिँ साथीहरू हुन्छन् मतलब एउटै क्लासमा पढ्न पाइन्छ इन्टरेक्सन गर्न पाइन्छ र त्यसले चाहिँ के एउटा दिमागमा के दिन्छ भने नि नथिङ इज इम्पोसिबल इन यर लाइफ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ दिमागमा एकदम गहिरो तरिकाले चाहिँ त्यो गर्न मतलब त्यसले चाहिँ छाप छोड्छ क्या सो कुनै पनि कुराले लाइक नथिङ इन यर लाइफ विल रियली अम्युज यु क्या लाइक प्रेसिडेन्ट एन्ड स्टफ दे आर अल्सो ह्युमन बिङ्स यु नो यु क्यान बी द्याट पर्सन भन्ने खालको एउटा दिमागमा त्यो खालको एउटा इमेजिनेसन त्यो खालको कन्फिडेन्स र त्यो खालको एउटा भनौँ न त्यो खालको एउटा चाहिँ त्यो स्ट्रेन्थ चाहिँ त्यो आउँछ त्यो चाहिँ अर्को चाहिँ जस्तै यो ब्राइबिङहरूको कुरामा होइन त्यसलाई चाहिँ जेनरली येलो जर्नलिजम भन्ने चलन हुन्छ त्यस्तो केसहरू अब आजकल नहुने त म भन्दिनँ होइन अभियसली हुन्छ पनि तर मेजर डेली न्युज पेपरहरूमा चाहिँ त्यस्तो एकदमै कम हुन्छ त्यस्तो ब्राइब गरेर न्युज गर्ने अथवा इन्फ्लुएन्स पार्ने किनभने दुईवटा कारणले एउटा त हामी त्यो थाहा पाउने बित्तिकै त्यसलाई फायर गरिदिइहाल्छौँ त्यो रिपोर्टरलाई होइन अर्को कुरा चाहिँ त्यो एक्सपोज भइहाल्छ क्या अब रिपब्लिकाले भोलि एउटा नभएको कुरा लेखेर पैसा खाएर लेख्यो भने त मान्छेले मर्ने गरेर गाली गर्छन् त्यो एकैछिनमा थाहा भइहाल्छ नि होइन एउटा स्पेलिङ मिस्टेक भयो त कति गाली गर्छन् त्यस्तो गऱ्यो भने त मतलब त्यो चाहिँ अलिक एकदमै कम हुन्छ ठुलो न्युज पेपर मिडिया हाउसहरूमा चाहिँ त्यो तर त्यो अफरहरू चाहिँ आइरहन्छ आइल टेल यु जस्तै यो हामीले गोविन्द केसीको आन्दोलनको बेलामा एकदम सपोर्ट गर्दाखेरि अथवा यो नाकाबन्दीको बेलामा चाहिँ यो तेलको तस्करी भइरहेको थियो कि यो उता बोर्डरको एरियामा त्यसको बारेमा एकदम धेरै लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ अब यो यसलाई नलेख्नु पऱ्यो, बरु हजुरहरूलाई के चाहिन्छ, यताउता तेल चाहिन्छ कि के भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ त्यो मेसेजहरू हामीलाई आइरहन्थ्यो। हामीले भने कि हामीसँग तेल पनि छ, केही पनि चाहिँदैन भन्ने खालको। तर त्यस्तो खालको केसहरू इट्स नट अनकमन, इट ह्यापन्स, बट इट रियली डिपेन्ड्स अन द टिम एन्ड द लिडरसिप एन्ड द काइन्ड अफ पेपर। सो त्यो बिग मिडिया हाउसमा चाहिँ त्यो एकदमै कम हुन्छ। सो यु क्यान बेसिकली ट्रस्ट देयर स्टोरिज। अर्को चाहिँ युथहरूको लागि के छ, हाम्रो चाहिँ रिपब्लिकामा एउटा चाहिँ माई सिटी भन्ने आउँछ एभ्री डे। That's basically geared towards young people. So if you want to write articles, if you want to send your poems or stories, articles, whatever you have, you are free to send that. त्यसमै छ email addressहरू। अर्को कुरा चाहिँ like if you have time, you should definitely do an internship in a newspaper भन्छु के म, because I think it's the best place for you to really learn, because it's like an open university. There's every kind of issue that we discuss in the newsroom every single day, because the next day you have to produce a newspaper. There is no choice. You can procrastinate. You have to file a story. The reporters have to write a story because the paper will come out tomorrow. So, and then you have different kind of bureaus that will work on different stories. So you get to, as a young, college kid, you get to learn a lot. You get to learn how things function in political level, in economics, how these combine, how these things are produced, how they are discussed. कहिले काहीँ यति धेरै गाली गरेर हुन्छ नि हैन, म त देखिरहेको हुन्छु, मैले हाम्रो पनि सोशल मिडिया फिडहरुमा चाहिँ यो पत्रकारलाई के पनि थाहा छैन भनेर लेखिरहेको हुन्छ हैन। तर लाइक वन्स यु वर्क देयर यु नो कि त्यहाँ कति डिस्कसन हुन्छ स्टोरीहरुको बारेमा, कसरी छलफल हुन्छ, कसरी स्टोरी प्रोड्युस हुन्छ भन्ने कुराहरुमा वी आर भेरी माइन्डफुल अफ दिस थिङ्स। स्पेशली हामीले एडिटोरियल लेख्ने बेलामा चाहिँ जस्तै यो इस्युमा के स्ट्यान्ड हुन्छ हाम्रो एज अ मिडिया हाउस, यो कुरा चाहिँ कसरी प्रस्तुत गर्ने भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ वी डिस्कस अ लट। सो यत्तिकै अफ द कफ यत्तिकै हावा तालमा चाहिँ लेख्ने कुरा नै हुँदैन त्यो हैन। सो आई इन्करेज यु टु एक्सप्लोर। हामीलाई चाहिरहेको हुन्छ इन्टर्न, वाइ डोन्ट यु गाइज अप्लाई इफ यु आर इन्ट्रेस्टेड।
And I have two questions, sir. For a country like Nepal, what should be done first? Deciding political issues or introducing developmental concepts? And the other one is, universities in Nepal have very rigid curriculum. So what should be done to make it flexible like the liberal arts colleges in the United States?
Because of this Facebook thing, right? Like every seconds, minutes, एउटा नयाँ खबर आउँछ, and then what do you think, like trust issue एकदम बढिरहेको जस्तो लाग्छ? Because I can't trust Republica ले एउटा लेख्तिर हुन्छ, हिमालयन टाइम्स ले अर्को लेख्दैला, अनि कान्तिपुरमा अर्को आइरहेको छ। So how to solve this trust issue and कुनलाई चाहिँ पत्याउने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ अलिकति इलाबोरेट गर्नु।
Well, media is obviously going through a lot of changes because of the digital revolution. There are a lot of information. There is like information overload. A lot of information coming in at the same time, and sometimes you have like, is it correct? Do I trust Republica? Do you trust Kathmandu Post, Himalayan Times? I encourage you to read all. I don't say just read Republica, but it will give you a sense of what's happening, because with the change in digital media, there are a lot of other outlets also coming. So sometimes you can trust them, sometimes you can. So we have to obviously read. I think the major outlets are quite trustable. I can't say about others, but the bhaiको question मा चाहिँ I think journalism needs good people, meaning like smart people, because अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ के भएको छ नि, जर्नलिजम चाहिँ एकदम लास्ट अप्सन के, मतलब एकदम सबै केही गर्न सकेपछि पत्रकार बन्ने जस्तो टाइपको भएको छ के। तर अब चाहिँ त्यो किन हुँदैन भने नि, बिकज आवर सोसाइटी हेज इभल्भड। जुन हाम्रो सोसाइटीको थिङ्किङ लेभल, मेच्युरिटी लेभल पनि अर्को लेभलमा पुगिसकेको छ क्या। त्यही भएर पनि वी निड लाइक अ नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसन अफ जर्नलिस्ट हु क्यान डु द्याट जब, एन्ड देयर इज प्लेन्टी अफ अपर्च्युनिटी, स्पेसल्ली इङ्ग्लिस मिडियामा। देयर इज, इफ यु आर सिरियस अबाउट दिस, देयर इज प्लेन्टी अफ अपर्च्युनिटी टु गो इन जर्नलिजम एन्ड मेक गुड मनी अल्सो, लाइक लिगल्ली स्पिकिङ। फेरि अरू कुराहरू होइन। So we're always looking for young people. We're always looking for for bright people who are willing to work hard and work. So I encourage you guys to explore that option and just get a feel of how is it like working for a newspaper, because it's not easy also, but also it's very exciting, because once you get a hang of it, then it's very hard to leave that profession. So you should definitely explore that option. अनि अर्को चाहिँ भाइको क्वेसनमा आई थिङ्क लाइक एजुकेसन कुरामा त अघि प्रिन्सिपल सरसँग पनि कुरा गर्दै थिएँ, लिबरल आर्ट्स एजुकेसनको त्यसको आफ्नै बेनिफिटहरू छ होइन। आई थिङ्क इट लेट्स यु इमेजिन लट अफ थिङ्स एन्ड लेट्स यु एक्सपेरिमेन्ट विथ लट अफ डिफ्रेन्ट एरियाज that you may not end up doing or taking, but it will help you think differently. Like when I was in college, I studied like music and chemistry. Like there's different kind of combination that you can do, because that will also let you imagine things that you normally do. So it's always good to explore that option in a liberal arts college. So हाम्रोमा अलिकति त्यो अलिक गाह्रो नै छ हैन. But I think like how we can compensate is like there's a lot of opportunity to learn yourself and to work part time जबहरु अहिले गर्ने राम्रो कल्चर आइरा छ, which is excellent. Startup culture आइराको छ हैन. So there's a lot of other things that you can do here. So you shouldn't limit yourselves to like homework गर्ने, class जाने जस्तो टाइपको मात्रै नि. So अलिकति if you work hard, I think there's plenty of opportunities. अनि हामी कहाँ चाहिँ एउटा के देखिरहेछ भने नि त्यो mismatch छ के. So I am willing to hire 5 really good people right now. तर I'm not finding that. People have like master's degree छ, gold medal के जित्या भनेको छ हैन. So we ask them to sit for a test. अनि त्यो राम्रोसँग गर्न सकिरहेको हुँदैन कि. So that's the problem, So what market needs and what the colleges are producing, there's definitely a huge mismatch to that. So if you can write well, if you can research well, I think there's plenty of opportunity for you guys here in Nepal.